Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking on Capnclydes MTG. Oh, look out. There's a price spike on Pillage Bog. Kinda. Before we get into this little funny miss, don't forget, comment, like, subscribe. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we will be doing giveaways, and it'll be sweet for everybody involved. Links in the description for those who want to buy some cards from the eBay TCG Player Store or help the channel out any way you want. Membership is up, so get on in there. I'll get you some. So, old Matt Bassel, I guess, filming this on a Friday, is talking about the crazy 500% spike over Pillaged the Bog. So, this comes off of the Pro Tour, and this card is already calmed down. But let's take a look at this real quick, see what kind of shenanigans we got going on. The shiniest versions of the new MTG card Pillage the Bog have risen by 533%. Not so much. It's been in a bunch of different decks, standard, pioneer, and event decks, though the only extended foil copies of this card are truly standing out price spike wise, going from $360 to $1290 today, in theory. We'll take a look at that later. Regular foils have, at least proportionally, had a even bigger spike, going from under $1 to $570 in the last week. So he talks here about how it's doubled in value, so forth and so on. Real reason for that is all the decks it's been showing up in several formats, using Pillage the Bog to up their consistency. Players are trying it out in all sorts of different decks. Golgari mid-range and standard to Indomitable Creativity decks in Modern. It's also seeing play in black-green Vampires and Pioneer, Jund Landfall combos in Standard, and even some Greasefang decks in Pioneer. A whole mess of different strategies can use this card, essentially. So, multicolored Niv to Light decks are the most popular spot for the card, so forth and so on. Ancient Cornucopia is raising in price, so forth and so on, and forever. So, interesting claim, Matt. Let's check it out. So, we're going to go over to Thunder Junction here. So notice here it says near mint foil $9.89. Ooh. Now down here it says it's only $4.19 after a plummet from $7 to almost nothing for the normal card, and the foil being higher. But let's actually take a look. So regular cards are going for about $4 or $5.50. Is that true up here? No, it's not. So if we go over here and we check the foil pricing, same price for near mint. So what's really happened here, guys, is the price did spike because of people wanting this card. But once people realized that this card was going up, they probably started relisting their old copies or copies they didn't have before because the card was so cheap to begin with. Now, with that being said, as you can see, they're listing the cards at a higher price. So the price has gone up from the 59 to 50 cents originally, but not a whole lot. It's, $4 for a foil, $3 for normal. Here we've got $5 for a foil, while normals are going for about $4. And that's probably because these cards that were at this price have been bought up. Can't see here people paying exorbitant prices for this card, but you can also see here some of these prices are kind of low at the same time. So basically what's happened is the cheaper ones, like you see here, have been bought out, causing only the expensive ones to be left. And two things are going to happen here. People are going to list them at a cheaper price to get them sold, or people will lower their price because people aren't buying them. In my personal opinion, black and a green, look at the top X cards in your library, where X is twice the number of lands you control. Put one of them into your hand, the rest in the bottom library in random order, plus it has a plot for 3. This is probably one of the best search cards we've had in a while. And I think during spoiler season, I did not give this card enough credit. Here's why. For 2 mana, if you cast this on turn 2, you get to look at the top 4 cards in your library and pick one. That's pretty good for 2 mana. That's like casting Sleight of Hand twice, but only getting 1 card. So it kind of replaces itself. And then later in the game, I mean, you can go through half your deck. If you've got 5 lands out, that's 10 top 10 of your cards. 12 out, that's top 24. You got not 8 lands out. That's easily to do in a long game. Top 16. I mean, you're talking looking at half your deck. I can see why it's good and why it's needed. And I think it will creep up, but I think it's probably going to stabilize around the $4 to $5 range. And as the card stabilizes, it may drop a little lower to be after a while. Right now, we got a lot of FOMO going on, and people thinking this is going to be the next hot thing. So I wouldn't try to get tied up in it too much. But I mean, $4 to $5 rare, we've seen worse. Shielded. Anyway, Shielder is not a rare. It's not bad example. My bad. But anyway, so if we look at all the Pillage the Bogs in here, for example, we can see what all of them look like. The extended art's going for about 5. Not bad. Promo packs are going for 4. Pre-releases are 5. Again, these are market prices, so they're probably a little higher. You can see here the actual market price is $5.17 here. If we look at the extended version, you can see here it's 4 something. It says here $9.16. That is pretty high. Not gonna lie. However, it is not $12 or $15. So let's take a look. $5 for a regular one near mint. Is that what the current price says here? Up 50 cents from the normal market buys. If we look at the foil one, again, $9.95, basically $10, and that's right on par with what we've been seeing. Now here, you can see it says near mint foil $12.87. That's because this might not have been updated yet from previous versions, or like I mentioned, people found out this card was going for so much, and people went and got theirs and just listed them at a lower price. And this is going to cause the price to go down until people start buying them, because eventually this will become cheaper and cheaper if no one wants it, because there's no point leaving it on here if the price is going to keep going down. Because if you look over here, you can see $10 for near mints is the best that it's went. And these were non-foils. So, like, here's a light play foil for 4. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be... Most people wouldn't have qualms with that, especially if you're going to play the card. Because, again, this is a newer card. You don't have to have near mint, per se. And if you look through all these buys, there's not anything here above $10. $9.99 is the best you get. Here's some 11s for some foils. But, again, $11.35 here for near mint. Once people realize what these prices are and... the prices came down because people listed all the cards. Like, here's an air mint for $3.85. Again, people are seeing the card prices. They're taking what they got, putting them online, and driving the price down. So, is it a spike? Yeah. Are you going to make a fortune off of it? Probably not. Are you going to make some money? Some people will, yes. But even if you were in here for the price spike and you sold all these great ones that were really expensive all the way down here, 4, 5, 6, 7, you made $100. Kudos for you. But how much money did you really make? Especially if you bought a whole bunch and tried to sell them. People don't do that. Mainly, this is going to benefit a lot of stores. And as you can also see, one more time with the data, this is all individual sales. So a lot of these sales here are probably from different individuals who went, ooh, this card's expensive. I'm not going to play it, so I'm just going to put it up and sell it. And, here's some for $2.99. They're all over the place. So it is what it is. Also, too, some of these sales here could have shipping with them separately. Fortunately, we can't list that on here, so it's half a dozen one, 6 the other. At the end of the day, will these prices come down if you want one? I think they will. I think the real question is, are you willing to wait? Or do you got to have it now? Is the FOMO too much to handle? So, for me, I've got my play set. And I really don't care past that. Because, for damn sure, if this thing does stay up at 10 and gets up to 12 or breaks 15 even, it'll immediately get reprinted in the next set, which will devastate it. Price-wise, because that's how Wizards of the Coast just rolls. So, with all that said, guys, tell me down below what you think. Is it as good as everybody says? Is it worth the price spike? Is it really a price spike? Because, they're kind of just going back up to the way the price was before it dipped after release. It all seems to be half a dozen one, six the other. So till next time, be kind. Tell me down below what you think. And I hope to see you across from the game table.